Hi positive readers, it's Positive Writer today with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you guys all about some overhyped thrillers that are actually good. So a lot of people obviously know what overhyped means in the booktube community, especially because people like to either read overhyped books or rant about them after they read them and they're bad. You know, anything. You know, overhyped books are a very popular subject when it comes to booktube. But overhyped thrillers aren't usually talked about. I have seen a couple of videos on them though. And now I want to add my video to the list and tell you about some overhyped thrillers that hit really hard. Because of all of the overhyped thrillers I've read, I think every single one of them have been good. Most of my least favorite thrillers are ones that I thought personally were going to be good that I did not hear anything else about them. So that's a good thing. So I guess people who hype up thrillers actually have taste. So in other words, I wanted to get started with this. I have a couple books on here and I kind of just want to go through and tell you guys all about these books and the fact that they are fire, even though they're overhyped. The first book on this list is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. And this book is about some women that move to this town. Well, one moves to the town. The rest of them already live there, and they basically just, it's about their lives, and basically leading up to this incident where somebody at this party that they all went to died. And it starts off with the death of the person. We don't know who it was. I don't think we know who it was. And then basically they just lead up to it happening and what really happened. And it has like commentary from the other people in the town wondering who did it. And it's amazing. I love thrillers that do that start from like the end and then lead up to what happened. I love that. And it's just a really good book. It follows all 5 women, so you get to see their lives at different points and stuff and how they converge. It's an amazing read and I really would recommend it. It has an entire HBO limited series, which was amazing too. And it's 2 seasons too, which they continued after the end of the book, which I thought was amazing because I really loved the storyline in the world, and I missed it because that was last year when I watched that. But I definitely recommend this book. It was very good. I know some people don't like it, but I don't know if I'd go as far as to say the book was better than the TV show, just because I watched the TV show first. I'd have to like weigh the pros and the cons, but I will be coming out with a video soon comparing thriller books and movies, books to their movies and TV shows individually to each, because there aren't a lot of thriller TV shows that I've seen, but there are a lot of movies, so I wanted to do them separately. Anyway, moving on, the next book on the list is You by Caroline Kepnes. This book also has a Netflix series this time, and it has 2 seasons, and it's been renewed for the 3rd one, and I cannot wait for it. This book is about a guy named Joe Goldberg who is basically like doing his job at this bookstore, and this girl walks in. And he decides that he has to basically get her to love him. And so he stalks her and stuff. And it's just about him stalking her. And, you know, everything that comes about because of that. And, you know, it's a really good read. It's ridiculous because being in Joe's head is like hell. He's horrible. And I hated him more reading the book than I did watching the show, which I also did first this time. And I don't know, it was horrible being inside his head, but I ended up really, really loving the book because the book is ridiculous. And I've heard some people say that they don't like the writing style because it's written very, not thoughtlessly, but it's written as like thoughts would be written. Like it's very run-ons. It's like, you know, somebody's thoughts basically. Like there are breaks in some thoughts and stuff because he starts thinking about something else. It's very immersive when you read it, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I hated it being in his head, but at the same time it was very interesting. And I don't have to like the narrator or the character or any of that to actually enjoy the story, and I think it was a solid story. Really enjoyed it. It was very thrillery, and I loved it. So definitely read that and watch the TV show because the TV show is really, really good too. The next book on this list is The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn, and this is one of my favorite books ever. This is one of my favorite thriller books ever, and this was one of my favorite books last year. I freaking love this book. It's about a woman who has agoraphobia. After this accident she was in, she basically is confined to her house because she doesn't like being out in public and stuff. And yeah, she doesn't even like leaving the house. So she just stays at her window all day and watches people. She likes to watch movies and stuff like that too. But she really is obsessed with just kind of watching the neighbors that she has across the street from her. And one time she witnesses a crime, basically, like a murder or whatever. And so she's like, what in the F? Like, I have to call somebody. So she calls the police, and then it's like on from there, you know, was she right? Like, did she actually see something? All this stuff. It's very crazy. It has an unreliable narrator. I freaking adored this book. So many twists and turns. It will keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. I was just living this entire novel. I was jumping up and down. I was going ballistic. It was amazing. And they made a movie out of the book, and it was supposed to come out earlier this year, and it didn't because of coronavirus. ending every single theater and stopping everything. So I am not happy about that. I'm very sad, and I cannot wait till it actually is released, because I really want to see what they're going to do with the movie in terms of the book. This is the only book, the first book on this list that I read the book before I watched the movie, and I think it might be the only one that has a movie that I watched the movie. That I haven't seen the movie yet. So yeah, definitely read this book so you'll be ready when the movie finally does come out. I think it was amazing, and I definitely rated all these books 5 stars. So like, read all of them. The next book on the list is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is one of the most classic and most known thrillers, not classic, but like most known as far as the thriller book and movie world goes. And I really loved it. I thought it was amazing. There's a book flying around, and I like want to grab it, but it's like, I don't know, it won't stop. So I can't grab it. Anyway, this book is about a woman who goes missing, and basically it's in the point of view of the husband, and it's about like, did he like murder or make his wife go missing? It's like, you know, she was missing. Everybody's like, what's happening? What happened? She's kind of popular, so the media's, you know, alerted and everything, and they're basically like, who did this? And usually people point to the husband. So the husband is naturally the biggest object of everybody's attention or whatever. And so yeah, it's like, did he do it? What's going on? What really happened? All that. It's a very good novel. I think it was a great book, and I think the movie was great too. I watched the movie first, and this is actually one of the ones that is the most accurate to the book, I think, because the rest of these had TV shows anyway, so I don't really know, and I haven't watched the Woman in the Window movie yet. But this movie was so much like the book, it was ridiculous. So I think that they are perfectly balanced out. Everything that happened in the movie, obviously not every single thing, but the things that mattered happened in the movie and also happened in the book, and I think it was a great, accurate representation of what happened. I think they were great together, and I think if you read the book, you should just watch the movie, or vice versa, because it's just worth it. The next book on this list is Night Film by Marissa Pessel, and this book does not have a movie, yikes, but it's a very good novel, and I thought it was amazing, and it's pretty overhyped. I don't know, I heard a lot about it before I started reading thrillers, and then I started reading thrillers, and this was actually the first thriller that I read. So, it was great, and I immediately was like, you guys been hyping some good stuff up, because I didn't know if it was going to be good or not, because in the past with YA especially, a lot of things people hype up aren't actually good, but this book was good, and the rest of these are too. Night Film is about this reporter, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. It's a reporter, and basically the news has just got out that this very popular horror filmmaker's daughter just was killed or died. And so everybody wants to pin her death on this reporter who said some choice words about this director in the past, and basically ended his career and stuff. And he's like, I know I didn't do this, but the only way to tell everybody else that I didn't do it is to figure out who actually did it. So he goes on his own, like, not witch hunt, but like manhunt for whoever did it, and try to figure out the clues and stuff, and find out who actually did this to her. And I thought it was a great book. It's like 500 pages, and I don't know if I'm like grown out of them or whatever, but I used to read a lot of 500 plus page books and like just 400 page books. But like now I see 500 pages and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. But this book was 500 pages. I read it last year, and it's a thriller, so I'm like, what are you going to do for 500 pages in the thriller? But it really was start to finish good. I loved it. It was amazing. I loved everything about it. It's told in words, but also it has like newspaper clippings, pictures and stuff. It's great. It really immerses you in the world, and the world that this author has built is so great, and I really enjoy myself. So if you like some like horror, thriller, mystery, it's a great novel. I definitely think you should read it. The last book on this list is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, and this book is very overhyped as far as now, because I've heard about it a lot now. These other books have been like pretty, like not old, but like they're not recent. But this book is recent, and I've been hearing a lot about it recently, and I also read it recently, and I'm here to tell you guys that it is worth every ounce of hype that it gets. It wasn't like my favorite thriller in the world, and actually it's probably on the bottom as far as all these books go, because obviously I could rank them, but they're all like absolutely 5 stars. This book was definitely a 5-star read, just under the other ones, but I still think it deserved the hype. This book is about a woman who one day goes home and just shoots her husband in the face. and then never speaks of it again. And they arrest her and take her to trial and everything, and she never talks about what happened or anything. She doesn't say anything. And so this is basically in the point of view of this psychiatrist who is going, this psychotherapist actually, who's going to go to the mental hospital that she's at, and basically not ask her, but try and like coax her to speak again and tell everybody what happened. Because everybody's tried and it's like failed for like at least a year, and so they're going to figure out, like, you know, what makes her talk, basically. And it was an amazing book. It keeps you on your toes. You don't know what's going on half the time, and when they tell you something, you're still left guessing about 1,000 other things. It's amazing from start to finish. I really enjoyed it. I love the payoff, which is a big thing in thriller books that sometimes authors just fail at, because the thriller book is all about the build-up, because the build-up has to be interesting enough for you to continue going, and then the climax, I think, is the most important part, because that's the part where everything either comes crashing down or whatever, and they explain what happened or whatever happens. And that part is the most important part for the book and thriller books, period, for me. And this book had a great climax, and I really enjoyed myself. And I thought it from start to finish, it was fire. So I definitely recommend that. Even though it's overhyped, these books are all fire, and I think you should check each and every one of them out. Watch the companion movies or TV shows to them too, because they are definitely worth it. And I just think you should read them, even though they're overhyped, so you're like, I don't know, but they're really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you check these books out if you have not read them yet, and if you have, tell me about them in the comments. I'll see you guys later with another video. Bye.